floss tube. Colette here. It is 75 degrees and a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Lehi, Utah. And I want to say hello to everybody and welcome to my floss tube. And I'm Colette, the Highway Stitcher, here to bring you my stitching from the highway and at home. Life updates. I'm feeling a lot better this week. Health-wise, I've been doing some walking and some other exercising and a lot of gardening too, because it's looking so pretty outside and it's fun to do gardening and keep up my garden. Maybe that was giving me some issues last week when I was just extremely exhausted. But I've been feeling pretty good today, so maybe I'm getting used to doing more of the exercises again. One update that's not the bestest in the world, but it could have been a lot worse, is my middle child, my daughter Julie. She runs in marathons, half marathons, and does quite a bit of practicing during the week. And she was running probably last Monday, and she runs with her dog, which has never been a problem before, but there was some water on the walkway, I guess, and she slipped on it, and her dog slipped on it, and the dog twisted around and pulled her the other way, and she fell backwards, and she fell on her elbow. And at first she thought it was broken. She was in tons of pain, and she had to get help back to her house from there was a neighbor there that saw what happened, and so they gave her help to get back, taking her dog and helping her back. And she was really worried because when she talked to me at the hospital, she thought that she had broken it. And elbow breaks are not good. And so we've been saying a lot of prayers for her. And I just saw her yesterday, and she's doing really tons better. And I'm excited about that because everything's been working well for her. The orthopedic doctor, when he checked her, she did not have a break. In the hospital, they thought she did, but it was hard for them to take an x-ray because she couldn't hold out her arm totally well. She was in such pain that she couldn't flatten it out. So they had to wait a couple days, and when the orthopedic doctor took an x-ray, he couldn't find anything but just like a slight darkening or a slight crack. So he told her to keep it in a sling, but then to also take it out and work with it and practice with it slowly, just so it didn't cause her any pain. And she can do some movement now, some range of motion movement. So she's on the good road to recovery already, and I'm happy for her for that. So it's hard to do a break, especially when you start getting older, but I think she's still young enough to where she will heal well from this. If it had been somebody my age or whatever, it could have been a lot worse. So those are the life updates for this week, other than going to grandkid performances, programs, end of school things and everything. So anyway, before I get into Maynia and what I did this week for Maynia, my whips and new starts, I want to tell you that last week, I think it was probably maybe a day after I did my last video, that I reached 500 subscribers, and now I'm over 500 subscribers. And I'm pretty excited about that. I never would have expected this. I was doing it mostly for myself and keeping myself accountable, and I just can't believe it. So it's pretty exciting, and I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing, for watching, for commenting. The commenters are just fun, and I love answering the comments. I kind of have a feeling now of what some of the floss tubers who have thousands of subscribers feel when they can't, when they have such a hard time answering people's comments, but they really want to. Because that's the funnest part of all of this, is reading your comments and answering them, and I really do appreciate those, and really appreciate everybody who's subscribed, everybody who texts me or on Instagram and tells me, how happy they are that I'm doing a floss tube. So again, thank you all so very much. And because of that, I've decided that I'm going to do giveaway for my 500 subscribers. And I kind of have been thinking about it, and I have a pattern and some floss here that I'm hoping that several of you will be excited about getting. So, and I really appreciate all of you. So I will do the giveaway at the end of my video today. And I mean, I'll show you the giveaway at the end of my video. So anyway, on to Maynia. What can I say? Those Maynia minions, that's what I call them, have overdone themselves this week. I can't believe it. Every single time I start Maynia, it seems like I can't get hardly any stitches in, or the amount of stitches that I normally get in when I'm not doing Maynia. And I call it the Maynia minions, cycling through, because every single time I do Maynia, that happens to me. And other times I could be doing lots and lots of projects and have lots of time to stitch. So anyway, they're keeping me from putting in as many stitches as I would really like to put in. So I hope that things get a little better next week, and those Maynia minions just stay away from me. So of course, part of it too is it isn't only just them keeping me, it's also the fact that there's so much into school for my grandkids, like programs and recitals and regular adulting that I have to catch up on, and just all kinds of things. I've been doing it. Gardening, I love to garden, so I've been out gardening a lot. So I can't totally blame it on those minions, because it's partly me being busy in May too. But anyway, I will give you my updates here on my Maynia and what I did get done, and you know, show you what got done this week. For day 6 of Maynia, get my paper here so I'll be on track. I did Amazing Grace, and that was a previous whip by Erica Michaels. This was done on a mystery fabric, but it looks like some kind of a tan fabric. And it was done, I also changed out the colors totally, so it's done with other DMC colors. And I stopped my last Maynia, did not pick it up at all last year until last Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, when I started up this next week of Maynia. And I know that I had only done through there because I had stopped my border right there and stopped it at the M. So I did get done the A, Z, and I, starting the N. And I finished once and was, so that wasn't too bad. Most of it, I think, was done like probably 11 or 12 at night after a busy day, but not too bad a progress. So that was day 6, Amazing Grace by Erica Michaels. Oh, the count's a 28 count of the mystery fabric. Okay, day 7 is also another whip. This is one that's also in my Stitch 9 challenge, and it is Sisters by Imaginating. And this one, the reason why it's one of my Stitch 9s is I want to finish it and get it framed and give it to my sister before years go by. So before, I had just done just a little bit of the lettering. So this time I ended up getting done that, the of there, that, and this part here, be lost. So before I had childhood can never be done from last year. So I ended up doing three more words. that little tiny bit of the pink, light pink, and the other was from last year also. So I was hoping to get all of the lettering done, and that was kind of what my goal was. But as you can see, I didn't make it. I still have a sister is and a little bit. So, but I'm getting there. This is also on a mystery fabric before I started keeping track. Looks to me like a kind of an antique white, and it's a 28 count. And this also, I changed out the colors on this one totally to other DMC colors that my sister likes. Originally it was in a lot of, it was like in a brighter blue with red flowers, and she wanted more kind of pink flowers and a different color borders, so I changed out the DMC. So that is Maynia Day 7. Maynia Day 8 was a new start. And it is, I'll pull it out of the bag here so you can see it better. Panoply of Posies. And this is by Tempting Tangles Design. It's a Quaker design. And I am doing this because of the DAR in larger letters there for Daughters of the American Revolution, which is my take on it, though I know that wasn't their take on this when this one was made. But I loved that idea that the D and the A and the R were so large that I'm going to use that for how I'm working on this project. I'm only doing, I'm working on vintage country mocha, 32 count, and I'm working with five or six different colors of overdyed threads. I'm using dungarees, cranberry, cherry bark, blacksmith blue, and bamboo. So more of like a patriotic, kind of like a rustic patriotic look. So this is what I got done on the day that I started working on it. So this is the upper left-hand corner. And the top red there is cranberry, then there's the bamboo, and then there's dungarees, that kind of a more of a genie blue. And then under that is the cherry bark red, and then the line of stitches going through both ways is the blacksmith blue. So I'm really liking how this is looking. It's all going to be in these kind of primitive patriotic colors, the whole piece. And enjoying that. I didn't want to put this one down. I was really enjoying it. But committed myself to Maynia, so I had to move on. Okay, number 9 is a whip from last year. One that I did work on some during the year, mostly because I kind of am burned out with it. I'm just not really enjoying it very much. But I think part of the reason why I wasn't enjoying it is, as you can see, it's just a little piece of fabric here. And it was hard for me to stitch in hand, and it still is. And it's not because I can't do it good. I can stitch in hand just fine. It's because my arthritis bothers me a lot when I stitch in hand, and no matter how I hold the fabric. So it's been kind of daunting and bugging and hurting. So I've been trying to do a little bit on it each time, but all I got done last year and just a little bit during the year was pretty much her head and her cap and just a little bit of her upper body. And oh, sorry, this is called X is for cross stitch. I didn't even tell you what it was. There's the pattern, is Sweetheart Tree. It was a kit with all of the floss and the fabric coming with it, came with it. So anyway, even though my hands were hurting me and stuff, I did get the rest of her dress done. Those X's along the sides, some of them are over one and some over two, and the back of her chair and her foot, and her little her little hoop that she's cross stitching on. So it's hard to hold this one up. Keeps falling. So I'm going to keep working on that. There's really not very much to do on it, and I should be able to get it done fairly fast, but it's been hurting my hands. I did, a friend of mine who was getting out of cross stitch, she really wasn't in it very well, but she gave me her hoops, and one of the hoops was just a little teeny tiny hoop, when I hadn't really seen that small before, and I put it on this piece at the very end, and it worked. So I may just end up doing it on the hoop, and I think then, since my hands will uncramp, that I'll be able to finish it up faster. That was day 9. So day 10 was Sheep May Safely Graze by Homespun Elegance. That's this piece right here. I love this piece. And that was a day where the minions stayed away, so I got quite a bit done. I had actually only done like 3 of the flower borders, the 2 on the side and 1 on top, and also done just a little bit of the top part of the roof of the house, and this part right here, this whole section right here I had done. But probably from about here over, all the way over, was all done on that day for Maynia. So I was pretty happy with that. This is also done in vintage country mocha and 28 count, and it's all the called for over-dyed cotton floss. Okay, next one is 11, May 11th. And that is Dorothy's Shoes by Silver Creek Sampler. This came out at Market last year. And I'm a big Wizard of Oz fan, so I couldn't pass it up. The power is there whenever you choose. It's found in the heart, not in your shoes. This one, most of what I had done last year, and I haven't worked on it since then, even though I still like it a lot. Other things took precedence. So the only thing that I really got done, I had just worked on I'd done the bird there, and just a little bit of the dress. So I did quite a bit more of the dress and starting her one leg. And there's her shoes too, by the way, my needle minder. Perfect for this particular piece. So that's Dorothy's Shoes by Silver Creek Sampler. And that's day 11. And then yesterday was May 12th, and I did a new start. And this is Let's Visit the Southwest. I'm calling it the Spirit of the Southwest sampler by Ursula Michaels. I like this with all of the different things from the Southwest. And I like doing back stitching at times too, especially if I can just go along and do it as I'm going. And I like these colors. So, but I wasn't happy with doing it on like a regular white. I wanted to use the called for colors because I did like them. But I opted to choose a different color for the fabric. And at first I had picked like a blue, but as I was putting the colors close to it, a lot of the colors weren't showing up. So I happened to look through my stash of fabric, and I found this one called Mellow. this needle because it's stuck in the whole fabric, not the, it's like several layers of it. So I found this Picture This Plus 28 count mellow. Started it on that, and I'm really, really happy with this. I don't know if it's easy to see. This is kind of like a southwesty looking fabric, you know, kind of orangey, tanny. And I did part of the border and canyons. I think that's going to look really nice on that fabric. So I'm glad I changed it out. Even though I love blue, I tend to just love blue fabrics. I think I try to use them too much because Dorothy's shoes, I think, is just getting washed out a little bit too much. I should have done it on another type color of fabric. But I don't think I'm going to go back now to do it because I don't want to rip that all out. But I'm glad I decided to do this, to change this before I started it. I really like that combination of the fabric and the colors. Again, I didn't want to stop doing this one either, but I have to move on. I'll be continuing Maynia through the 19th. Then I stop. I'm not going to the 31st. I'm doing it for like 2019. So my next update will be for the last 7 pieces for Maynia. I don't have any haul this week. And there's no other projects I'm working on, lace or otherwise, because I just haven't had any time. I've just been doing all of the other things I was telling you about, as well as just trying to get in a little bit of stitching for my Maynia. But I do want to show you, this is stitching and lace related. I thought, well, at least I could show you this. This is a picture of a lace maker. Trying to get it without the glare there. I made this lace maker about 12 years ago and cross-stitched it. And so I thought I would show that to you. There she is, lacing away on her pillow. Of course, I don't think I would be doing it with that kind of costume on unless I was at a event and needed to dress in period costume. But otherwise, I thought it was really neat. So I stitched it, had it framed, and I have it up on the wall in my lace room, lace and sewing room. So that's my little bit of lace for today. So now we will go on to the giveaway. Boy, my first time doing a giveaway. This is pretty exciting. I have this pattern. It's a carriage house pattern. It's called Live with the Creatures. And it says, live with the creatures among the plants of the earth. You see a cat and a sheep, a goose, bird, horse, cow, upside down cow. Keep thinking he's going to fall from there, but no, I guess he won't. Anyway, I have the pattern that I'm using for the giveaway, in the giveaway, and I also have the called for needlepoint silks. All in this bag, needlepoint ink silks that go with it. If you use that color fabric that they call for, which, let's see what it is. R&R Reproductions 40 count antique cotton, but you can definitely pick whatever you want for the fabric. So, any what you want, and also if you want to use the needlepoint silk for something else and use DMC for the fabric, you can do whatever you want because it's going to be your pattern, whoever wins it. So anyway, I guess all the regular rules apply, what everybody else says. Make sure that you're over 18 or get your parents' permission. Make sure that you don't say giveaway in the comments or I'm going to delete it. And I'm also going to ask a question, and if you could just answer it. And my question for people who live in the United States is, what state have you never visited? And just tell me, just shortly, just a short little reason of why you want to visit it. So let me know of a state you have not visited and why you want to visit it. And if I'm lucky enough to have anybody who is out of the country who wants to try to get into the giveaway, in your country that you live in, same thing. where in your country would you like to visit that you've never been, and why? So that's my question. And I'm going to keep this open until I do my next floss tube after I'm done with Maynia, which will be a little over a week from now. So hoping to get back to showing you what happened with the rest of my Maynia pieces. So I'm going to keep the giveaway open until then. So if anybody wants to try, feel free to try. Do that question, please, and maybe you'll win. So, and I want to thank you again, all of you, for subscribing, for watching, for commenting. I really appreciate the comments. It's so much fun to read everybody's comments, and I just appreciate just the fact that I even have any people that are like subscribing. That's just so exciting. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to, any of you who are interested in having a carriage house pattern that you don't have, and some needlepoint ink silks, feel free to answer my question, and I will do a random generator and pick out a name next week. So as always, remember the beauty all around, at home, on the highway, everywhere. It's there. Look for it and you'll see it. And I'm grateful for you all. Thank you so very, very much for watching my videos. And you guys all have a happy day stitching, and take care of yourselves. Be good and healthy. Take care of your family, and love you all. Bye, everyone.